Greetings, everyone. Welcome to Be Green with Amy. I'm Amy. After adopting a whole food plant-based lifestyle, my hubby Rick and I lost over 130 pounds. Now I coach others on their plant-based journey. Just Task Voice. Let's welcome our guest.
In 2012, Rick joined his wife Amy and adopted a whole food plant-based diet. Rick lost over 100 pounds and has kept it off. He also eliminated all prescriptions, including hypertension and cholesterol medications. Rick also wrote a whole food plant-based SOS-free recipe ebook called Plant-Based SOS-free Recipes. Like flavor? This cookbook is for you. Please click like to help Be Green with Amy. Welcome, her hubby Rick.
Greetings, everyone, and welcome back to the Green Kitchen.
Hi, everybody.
Please type in the comments if you can hear us and see us. That would be very helpful to us. Thank you. And we're getting ready to celebrate. Ho, 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 ho. Ho, ho, ho. Yep.
Ho, 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 ho.
We're going to have some fun today. We are going to be watching Rick make delicious food. We're actually having a potluck tomorrow, so
It works out real good for us.
it really does. Do you want to tell everybody?
It's like it was planned, but it wasn't.
Do you want to tell them? We don't plan, do we?
we kind of fly by the seat of our pants.
Yeah, we do.
Anyway,
Tell
yes.
them what you're going to make.
I didn't really know what I was going to make, but I'm going to make a cucumber, tomato, onion salad. It'll be in like a vinegar, balsamic vinegar, and you just scoop it out and you throw it on your plate and you eat it like a salad.
Mm.
It tastes better 2 or 3 days later after you make it. I'm going to make a shepherd's pie. I'm going to take some delicata squash. I'm going to cut it and we're going to stuff them with some of the shepherd's pie. And we're going to make a shepherd's pie which has potatoes and sweet potatoes and a lot of vegetables and things like that.
I'm getting hungry. I'm going to go in the studio. You keep going, because if any of you have gone live with us before when Rick was on, he just keeps cooking.
I don't know.
I'm so lucky. So keep telling them what you're going to make.
I don't know what I'm doing.
I'm going to
work it out.
break a leg. I'm going to go in the studio.
Okay, I'm going to put on my apron. Amy got me this cute little Santa Claus apron. We're also going to make some coleslaw, purple cabbage coleslaw. We're going to make mashed potatoes, of course. I'm going to make a no tuna salad, which is made with chickpeas. I forgot to wash the celery. I also am going to try to make, I got to make mushrooms, so I saute some mushrooms with onions and peppers, and I'm going to make cauliflower buffalo wings, if you would. So we should probably start off and get the potatoes cooking. So what I'm using is an Instapot. This is the Instapot I'm going to be using. If she has the other camera, you'll be able to see it better. But I'm not sure if she has that at this particular time. Anyway, so I take the Instapot and I take this lid here. Okay, and I pour in water just so that it's just below the strainer. Okay. Well, in this particular one, that'll be for the delicata squash. So I cubed up a bunch of potatoes. Okay. Not that hard, but I'll show you how I do it. Anyway, I will dump these inside of there. Okay, and I'll show you how I cut it real quick. Some people don't know how to cut a potato, which surprised me. Anyway, everybody does it differently. So I take my potato, and depending on the size of it, if it's smaller, I just cut it in half. And then I cut it down the middle. Okay, and then I cut it like that. Most people would be better off cutting it while it's flat and cutting it like that. Okay, so So that's pretty easy. Anyway, these I did not. They're all washed on the outside. The other ones I had put inside of the bowl, rinsed them off with water, and try to get some of that starch off them. Anyway, so these will kind of steam inside of there. All right, I'm gonna put it off to the side over here, and we'll set it on 5 minutes. 5 minutes should be plenty for this because they're all cubed up. Amy, you can talk while we're waiting. I cannot hear you.
Rhoda said, wow, Rick's making a lot.
There you go.
And Lydia said, hi, Amy and Rick. Greetings, Lydia. Nice to see you here.
Heck, I'll put it on 6 minutes. If
you guys, Green Warriors, type in where you're watching from. We'd like to know where you're watching from today.
Okay, now I'm going to do the delicata squash. So the delicata, if you're not familiar with it, it's this. It's got a thin skin. So I try to find a nice where it won't roll too much. Okay, and then I try to find a seam, if that'll work, and go straight down the middle of it. The hardest part is when you get to this nub right here, because that thing doesn't want to break too easily. Okay, so you got that. I'm going to just cut them all because
I love delicata squash. I love all the squashes, actually. Green Warriors, what's your favorite squash? Have you ever tried delicata squash, I should ask. And let us know what you like. I like the delicata squash because I always think of it as delicate, right, Rick? Because of the skin?
I guess. Because it's thinner than the acorn, it's thinner than a butternut. You can actually, once it's cooked, you can actually just eat the skin. These are organic, and I washed them, like I said. So now I take this and I just scoop out the seeds. Now I scrape it down.
They're a lot easier to work with than the other squash. They seem like they're a little more soft, and especially cutting them. I used to struggle cutting the butternut squash until I learned that trick.
What trick is that, Amy?
of cooking it before you cut it, the butternut squash. So if you cook it before you cut it, then you can, it'll be soft, and then you'll be able to cut it more easily.
Well, that wasn't good, was it?
Okay. Well, I'm just going to get on here because I think that we had something happen with one of our cats. Oh, are we back?
I figured it out, I think.
Yep, you fixed everything, Rick, I tell you. That's what he does.
I try.
He fixes it all.
Okay, so as you can see, they're cut in half, made them into like a little boat. I'm going to take this screen, I'm going to put it inside of my Instapot, and then I'm going to fill the screen up to the bottom of the screen.
That's a really cool part of the Instant Pot that people who have an Instant Pot, they may not have been able to use it before. And I really think we've been using it quite a bit, right, Rick? With the delicata squash and what else?
I've been using it a lot with the potatoes, sweet potatoes more than anything else. I like to cook the sweet potatoes inside of them because they come out kind of like really soft, kind of like butter. You know, that's the way I prefer it. Some people prefer them a little bit firmer, al dente. Yeah. I prefer them soft.
Yeah, you've made the sweet potatoes in the oven by roasting them, and they taste good that way.
Yes.
But then when you tried it in the Instant Pot,
they come out sweeter to me.
Yeah.
But everybody's different, and you know, it all depends on how long you want to cook them as well. So anyway, so that's what I've got. So here, I don't think you can see the inside of this at this time. So I'll show you. So I
Isn't
just
that crazy?
I just stacked them on top of each other like that.
Yeah. And there's just a
Kind of
little
like
bit
a,
of water on
what
the
is that?
bottom.
A Jenga puzzle.
He's playing Jenga with the Delta as well. And there's just a little bit of water on the bottom, and then that's it.
Correct.
Yeah.
Just up to the screen.
How many of you Green Warriors have an Instant Pot and have actually taken it out of the box and used it? That's what I'm curious. Lydia said, watching from Montreal. Oh, very nice. Thank you for telling us. And Mona's watching from Athens, Alabama. Very cool.
So I'm putting that on 6 as well. So 6 minutes and 6 minutes for either one of them. We'll see how they turn out. The main reason that for me, it doesn't matter whether they're really mushy or firm, because I'm going to take most of the meat out of it and I'm going to put it in with the shepherd's pie. So this is all the leftover seeds. And if you wanted to, you can cook them, but I just toss them myself. Okay.
Mona
So
has
those
Mona has an Instant Pot, and she's actually taken it out of the box and used it. We should have like a T-shirt.
You know, this one right here that I just put them in. We had a friend that was inside the Salvation Army, and they said, "Well, we already have 2 Instant Pots, and we thought of you guys." And it was $12. It looks brand new. It doesn't look like it was used. It's inside the box and everything. Would you guys want it? And we said, "Well, we already have like 3 Instant Pots, but yeah, we'll take another one."
They always say, Rick, what's better than 1 Instant Pot?
I guess 2 Instant Pots. That's 3 Instant Pots.
Right.
For us, it's okay. I mean, we cook beans. We cook lentils. I make my lentil hamburger stuff inside of the Instant Pot. I make split pea soups, which comes out very thick like a dal inside the Instant Pot. There's so many things that you can do. You could saute in an Instant Pot. You could bake in an Instant Pot. You can make yogurt in an Instant Pot. I should be a commercial for Instant Pot.
Yeah, really.
Anyway, okay, so the next thing, I'll take 2 cucumbers. You know, you could use little cucumbers, you can use regular cucumbers. I buy organic cucumbers. And then these are Roma tomatoes, and I also have these on the vine that I took off. These are very, very, very tasty. Those are those palmy things. I don't know. Anyway, so figured I'd show you how I cut the.
Meanwhile, our puppy is around, and whenever he hears that cutting board, he thinks it's going to be for him, and he does get a lot of the scraps.
Yeah, he does, and he loves cucumbers.
Yeah.
Anyway, this section of the cucumber right here is a little soft, so I just cut it out. It looks good from the inside, but who knows? You know, when you're buying organic, they go a little bit south a little bit sooner. So I take them, cut them in half, so it's quartered, and then I just make them bite-sized per se, just like this. So I saved a little time by cutting them ahead of time. Same thing with the tomatoes. I already cut up a bunch of tomatoes. Okay, so what I do is I cut it in half, and then it's got the little nodule, the little stems piece right there. I cut that off. And I just cut it out with a little V notch. Then I cut it like you would kind of like a mandolin in a way. And this turns around and dices it. So you all have diced. So I have a bunch of diced tomatoes. See, Zeus has jumped on my leg just now.
I don't know if you can hear.
Probably shouldn't do this, but here, sit. Good boy. Okay. I'm sorry. What?
I wanted.
Now he'll be bugging me.
I know.
Okay.
Lydia said, "I use my Instant Pot." Yay, Lydia! That's so important. I'm glad. Oh.
Then I take an onion.
Okay, we'll ask that a little bit later. An onion, 1 onion.
Right, and a lot of people don't know this, but sometimes you got that flaky skin on them. This one really doesn't have it. I turn around and put it underneath the sink, and I kind of peel that off, and it stops it from. It comes off very easily that way.
That's a good tip because all the time when you try to do it the other way, it's very messy.
Then I quarter it, and I peel that outer layer skin off, just from that quarter. And if you can just get the peel, that's great. Sometimes you have to get the whole, that first layer of skin. Again, we try to purchase as much organic as possible. So anyway, so now there's two ways of doing this. You can just slice it finely like this. You guys can see what I'm doing?
Yes, they can
Right?
see.
Or you can take the mandolin, not the mandolin, but have one of these choppers.
Yeah, these choppers are, oh, I love them.
Okay, and I take that and I put my and then you just push it down. So that's it. And now you have diced, which is kind of nice. I also like it long and thin like that too. But and it, you know, when you do it like that, it kind of prevents, not totally prevents, but because the what am I getting at? Your eyes don't water as much because you don't
Yeah,
have as much time in front of that.
right. Because I've tried so many tricks to keep my eyes from tearing. Some people put goggles on when they're cutting the onions.
You know what someone told me? You take a wet washcloth
Yeah,
and you have it close by, and supposedly the vapors go to that instead of going up into your face.
I tried that and I think it kind of worked, but I just love this chopper.
Kind of is the key thing.
Yeah.
Kind of works. Okay.
So
So
Mona wanted to know what brand of knife you are using. So I put a link in the comments in the show notes. So
okay.
if anybody's interested,
DALS Dahlstrom.
yeah, I put a link for it so this way they could see it.
It's a really nice knife. We've had this for probably 4 years now.
Yeah.
I've sharpened it several times, but it holds a good edge and it feels nice in my hand. You know, we have quite a few good knives though.
Yeah,
if you're cooking, it's important.
That's
So anyway, so now you take this and you dump the onions inside. You dump the tomatoes or the cucumbers inside, and you dump the tomatoes inside. It's more tomato rich than anything else, but they all give you that flavor that you need. All right, now with the little tomatoes, I just quarter them. So like that. All right, these are really tasty. A lot of times what I do is I just cook these in the microwave or whole, and then they get nice and soft, and I pop them in my mouth. I have so much flavor.
Yeah,
they're really good.
The tips that I shared with my clients who were trying to have a healthy dressing for their salad, I told them to buy those kind of small tomatoes. They're great for the cherry. And then you put them in a coffee cup and you put a little silicone lid on top, put it in the microwave for like 30 seconds. They get soft and you can mash them up and mix it into your salad. And it's just, it enhances the flavor so well.
So now I take organic balsamic vinegar. Okay. And this is about a cup inside of here. So it's 16 fluid ounces, and there's about half a bottle inside there. And I'll just squirt the whole thing inside, because it sits inside of that and marinates. Like I'm making a bit of a mess because I'm doing it a lot quicker than I normally do it. And then I take an Italian seasoning. This happens to be something that we've had in the cupboard for quite some time. And we'll sprinkle a little bit of that on there. Okay. I'll make sure that we have some fresher oregano inside. Now, that's good enough at this point. And then you just mix it up. Now, one of the things that this is my father. My father is the one who showed me how to. He likes it, and I was like, "What's the recipe?" He said, "Hey, you just do this, you do that, and blah blah blah." And I was like, "Okay." So this is good enough, but if you have table tasty, which is like a salt substitute, okay, I sprinkle a little table tasty on there, which is probably like a teaspoon, not very much. And it just gives it, you know, how you put salt on a tomato or salt on a cucumber or salt on a cantaloupe. I mean, we don't use salt anymore. So table tasty is something that I have found, which is, you know, I call it my secret weapon more than anything else. And I should be doing a commercial for table tasty as well. Anyway, it is like 18 different herbs and spices. And this is it. Then you pour it inside of a container, which I guess I'll have to get one.
Yeah, so Rick is going to be showing you quite a few recipes, and they're all going to be in the description, in the show notes. So don't worry about that if you have any
And hopefully
questions.
this is large enough. Ooh, it looks like it's going to be. See, and then we're going to serve this tomorrow, which is perfect because by tomorrow it'll be all nice marinated and everything will be softened up and it'll be delicious.
Yeah, this
So,
definitely tastes better. Tastes good now, but it'll taste even better the next day.
right.
And these
So
are
these
the
onions and tomatoes and cucumbers will just marinate inside of there. And it's, if you haven't tried it, I mean, it's it's easy, and it's absolutely delicious. You can bring it to you know, if you have people who don't eat this way, and I know that everybody does, probably a spouse or somebody like that, regrettably. But you make this, they'll love it. You don't have to tell them it's vegan. You don't have to tell them it's plant-based because, you know, half the stuff, more than half the stuff you eat is.
right.
You know, and everybody says, "Oh, it's vegan." You know?
Who won't
Yeah,
think
so
of
all the side dishes that you had at Thanksgiving dinner, they're all vegan too.
that?
You know, so
I love our,
people don't look at it that way.
I love our glass containers that we use for storage, like this one that Rick has. Every glass container that I have, it has a straight edge, so that this way we don't lose real estate inside of the refrigerator or inside of the cabinet where you're storing them. You're always going to have a straight edge, so there's not that gap that the round storage containers can leave. And also, since it's made out of glass, this particular time, you can put it in the oven, you can put it in the microwave, freeze it, and put it in the refrigerator. So, and it's so pretty because it's just clear glass, so it makes it a pretty serving dish too. So, when I serve something, I can take frozen vegetables, throw it inside of that glass container, heat it up in the microwave, serve it. Whatever's left over, pop the lid on. It's good to go.
Okay, what's next, Amy?
Oh, what is next? Okay, so you made the cucumber salad. Did you want to make the mushrooms or?
That's what I should do is make the mushrooms.
Oh, I guess.
Let me show you what I do.
I didn't know what was next, but I was trying to think what was.
You did just great. I cut up most of the mushrooms already. Can you see them?
Let's
Maybe
take
not.
a look.
Yeah.
Ooh, look
So
at
I cook 3 pounds of mushrooms at a time. And we have this handy dandy mushroom slicer. It's wonderful. And it cuts them maybe an eighth of an inch, quarter of an inch. And I'll show you what we do. So you just put it inside there and you push down. Put it in there, push down. You know, like that. See that? Anyway, so
I love that because
I
we
used to slice them all by hand. And to be honest, I mean, I find it meditative, but it's also time consuming.
yeah.
So that I take these mushrooms and I put them in a frying pan, which is
So we
what
eat
most people
mushrooms
call.
every day.
Yeah, we eat mushrooms every day. It keeps cancer away. That's my saying. Eat mushrooms every day. It'll help keep cancer away. That's what Dr. Furman and Dr. Esselstyn and Dr. McGregor and Dr. You know.
A lot of the plant-based doctors say that it's really important to eat mushrooms every day, and you batch cook them so that we can always have some.
So this is a 5-quart, or most people call it a chicken fryer. I don't know why, but I guess a chicken fits inside that just right. Okay, so where are my? Oh, there they are.
So if you guys have a question for Rick or for me, go ahead and type that in the comments and we'll be glad to answer them for you. And also, I want to let you know that the recipe will be in the show notes, so you'll have access to that. And I was curious from you guys if what is one holiday food that you wish that you had a healthy, whole food, plant-based version of? So why don't you tell me about that in the comments? And
Okay.
we have some people that have been joining us.
Hello,
Greetings,
everybody.
Kai. I'm late, but look at those delicious colors. And oh, here's the question for us. C wants to know, did you guys go SOS-free overnight?
Ha 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 ha. Well, Amy's got the story down, but 12, 13, 14 years ago, I'm not sure. It's been quite some time. I was 110 pounds heavier than I am now. She was watching PBS and she kept running across this guy called Dr. Furman who was doing his PBS special. And she kept watching it and she only caught a small section each time. And I said, why don't you just purchase it? I said, we always give money to PBS anyway. And she was like, well, if I buy it, what are we going to do with it? And once you learn something, you can't unlearn it. And I said, well, if it tastes good, I'll do it. But, it didn't. No, it didn't. Because you're used to having the salt and you're used to having all those different flavors that are in the processed foods, and they make the food so that your palate is tricked, and you just want to keep eating. And if you have a piece of meat or something like that, and you don't put any spices on it or rubs or anything like that, it really doesn't have any flavor. I mean, except for the fat that's in there, but even the fat doesn't taste good without some kind of salt or garlic or something on it. Anyway, so it took us a while. We weaned down, but for the most part, we tried to do it overnight. It doesn't happen overnight. But you got to change. You got to change your taste buds. You got to change your palate, and you got to work your way into it. The less salt that you have, the better off you are. Furman says you're not supposed to have more than 700.
No, I think it's 4.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, 700. No, 4. Extra besides what is inside of your food. All foods, tomatoes, cauliflower, Brussels sprouts, they all have sodium inside of them. So you're never going to go salt-free, because you're always going to have sodium in all the plant-based foods that you eat, if in fact you just go plant-based, which is what we did. Anyway, so I take a pepper and onion mix, regrettably not organic, but I go through tons of these bags, regrettably. Anyway, normally it's frozen, so right now they've been defrosted because they're out a little while. So I'll take them and I'll throw them inside my pan. Normally it's on the stove, and they start sauteing, but it doesn't matter to me because I just add the mushrooms right away. So I take them and I add half or 3/4 of the mushrooms inside this chicken fryer, or 5-quart Dutch oven fryer, or whatever you want to call it. Okay. Then I take a little bit of table tasty. I used to use more, but now I use less because I'm starting to use some miso for fermented. They told me I should have fermented for my gut flora. Okay, and this is Chili 9000. Get that from Penzies. Okay, so Chili 9000, table tasty. This is garlic. Okay. Onion powder. I use more garlic than I do onion powder. Okay. I started using sage a little while ago. Somebody told me I should. Okay, and sumac. Sumac is a... There we go, both the cameras. Okay, sumac, it's not poisonous. When you hear sumac, you think it's like, uh-oh, It's poison ivy. It's not. This stuff gives it a kind of peppery, lemony flavor. So I tossed some of that in there, and the lemon gives you the feeling that it's kind of salty. Now, one thing that I didn't intend to make today was the special sauce that I use. I can, but we'll probably do it on another. It's probably on there somewhere. So then I add the special sauce, which is walnuts, balsamic vinegar, water, garlic, and raisins. Well, this thing's almost empty. I might as well just dump it all in because it gives it a nice flavor.
Yeah, and you use that in a lot of different recipes as a seasoning.
And that's it. Then I cover it all up. So 3 pounds fits inside my fryer, chopped up just like that.
No
And
oil.
this will cook down and it will not overflow or anything like that. Then
No
I take
oil.
the lid.
Rick?
Yes, ma'am.
No oil?
No oil. I don't even add anything to it because the onions and are already frozen, so there's a bit of moisture that's associated with that. And then once the mushrooms start cooking, they release their natural moisture into it. So see, here's my chicken fryer. I'm sorry, my fryer, and it's full. Then I put it on the stove, and I just stick it on high.
Yeah. And it's amazing that all of these ingredients fit in there. He doesn't add any oil. He doesn't need any vegetable broth because those mushrooms have so much moisture in them. And also the frozen peppers and onions have moisture in them. And as he's cooking, they're releasing that moisture, which makes it not stick. And of course, everyone mix it up. I wanted to show everybody that my sister-in-law, Rick's sister, had gifted us, I don't know if you can see where the tomatoes are. There's something on the side it's covering the sink actually, and it acts as a great thing if you like washing produce. You can put your wet produce on there.
It acts like a shelf.
But it also acts
drains.
like a shelf, and so that if you need more counter space, you can cover up part of your sink, and it rolls. So if you need to wash something down the drain, you can just roll part of it away and then roll it back. So I really love that a lot. Yeah. So
Okay.
that was the sauteed mushrooms.
Right, and those things, I put it in there for usually just 5 minutes once it's already up and running and hot. But because it's brand new and nothing happened, I put it on for 7 minutes. I set the timer. I'll go back when it starts boiling, and I'll just mix it and make sure that nothing's stuck to the bottom. And usually it's not. Anyway, so at this point, I'm going to take out the NutriBullet, not the NutriBullet, but let's do the coleslaw.
Okay, you want to make coleslaw?
Yeah. You want to try coleslaw? Okay.
Yeah, I didn't know he was making that, but maybe I didn't listen when he.
No, I think I just whatever.
So here's another really cool tool that we have, and it's a food processor. And I just wanted, if you could show us, it has different.
What am I showing?
Well, it has different gauges. So this way, like now, you're going to be putting a carrot in there, right? But if the carrot would go in there, in that hole there, see, and it won't wobble around. But if you have something that's a little bit bigger, there's another hole there that's even larger, and you can push it down. And then if you have a really large object, you can put it in there. So it's a wide mouth food processor. And so you can use one food processor for so many different things. And it's also got a large capacity, so you don't have to keep dumping it out. And it just makes quick work of things when we're trying to process some vegetables. So
okay. So you're aware I already started. Okay. You use the coarser edge of the shredder blade. Okay, but I figured you didn't want to sit through all of this and watch me just shred a whole bunch of it. So turn it on.
And I'm going to
take the carrot. I'm going to cut the little nub off it.
Yeah, I'm going to mute his microphone so that this way you guys can watch. See, look at that. He didn't just put one carrot at a time. and it doesn't wobble through. It just stays straight. And he's already got some things that he put in there. Let's just unmute his microphone.
Cabbage that I had cut up into chunks. Well, Amy has cut up into chunks.
I'm
So,
the sous chef.
you see that?
Yeah, look at that big bunch of cabbage that you can just put into that wide mouth part. You can just process that through. So there's just so many, and look at how much cabbage he's processing. And it's all, so he's got the carrot in there, he's got the cabbage in there, so all the food is going in the same, and because it's a large capacity, he can fit a lot of food in there at the same time while he's doing that, and it makes quick work of making this coleslaw. So it's, I don't know, have any of you Green Warriors have a food processor at home? Have you used it lately? Because it's a really great tool.
Okay, so at this point, it's probably pretty full. If it's not, I will add an apple to it, because I'm going to shred the apple as well. I could probably fit the apple in there, but I'm not going to. Just because. So, can you see that?
Yeah.
It's all shredded.
Can you imagine how much time that would have taken if you had to do that by hand? It's such a wonderful tool. And we didn't acquire all these tools at once. We've gotten them or we purchased them on our own. But we really don't go out to eat in restaurants very often. And the money that we used to spend going out in restaurants was much more than what we are spending on these tools that are just so helpful to us.
Well, if you have the right tool, just like any mechanic, if you have the right tool, it makes the job easier. And they have a lot of specialty tools. And if you're going to eat like this, you should have that. Okay, so the other thing that this recipe needs is a little bit of onion. So, again, we go back to taking the peel off.
Yeah.
Over the.
Sometimes we use a red onion. It just depends on what onion is available.
I have them both right here.
Yeah.
Anyway, so cut off the root part, cut off the other part, slice it in half, peel off the outer layer. This one's already peeled off. Okay, then we'll put that in here.
So see how quickly it just chops up those onions, and it's all going into this one container. So it really makes quick work of it all.
What you want inside of here is some kind of sweetness. Otherwise, it doesn't taste very good, cabbage. So I take and I quarter my apple, and then I just cut out the bit of core. Okay? And makes quick work of this too. So the stem part is missing, gone. Oops, that's my 7 minutes. I forgot to stir, but we shall show you what it looks like.
So as you can see, he just has that whole apple. He just cut it up in a couple pieces, and it went right into that wide mouth area of the food processor. And it's just going to be so easy to shred that up along with all the, and have it mixed in with all the other ingredients.
Can you see this?
Ooh.
This is my mushroom mixture at this time. There's just 7 minutes inside of there. Nothing stuck to the bottom, and there's a lot of moisture in there.
Yeah, and you didn't even mix it. Typically, you will mix it.
Yeah, usually I mix it prior to this point, but it's okay. It's all good. You know.
And it's shrinking down too, so now it's not overflowing, and it's easier to mix it
So
up.
at this point, I'm just going to put it back on top of. I have an electric stove, so I'm going to shut the electric off to the burner, and I'm just going to put this on top of the stove, and it'll just cook a little bit more.
Green Warriors, Jenny, do you eat mushrooms? Do you like mushrooms? And if you do, how do you like to prepare them? Tell us in the comments how you like to do that.
So with the apple, it all depends on how sweet you like your things or not. But I have a lot of cabbage here. It's at least one giant head. It was a big head. Usually you get two small heads, and it depends. You don't have to make as much as I do, but when I make it, I like it a lot, and other people seem to as well. So again,
Yep, and see how all the ingredients just go right in that wide mouth, and it's got such a great capacity. So I love this food processor that we have. It's so helpful. And those apples will be going to our puppy. We'll be cutting them up in tiny pieces, and he'll.
oh yeah, the ones, but no seeds.
Right.
I cut out the seeds, but we cut this up, and we take out those little pieces.
Yeah.
And he loves them.
Yeah.
Anyway, so at this point, I try to take all this stuff and I throw that away. But inside of here, can you see that?
Yeah.
So it's shredded onion and shredded apple. You wouldn't think that they would go together nicely, but they do. Can you see? Can you see what I'm doing?
Good. Yeah. Well,
Everything's in the way. I know. I'm gonna move.
yeah. There's.
We'll bring this back here.
Yeah, that's a lot better. Thank you.
There we go. That's why I asked if you could see.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. And this is why it's so important to get all these different colors. They say eat the rainbow, and that's what we do. Purple cabbage, it's higher in nutrients than the white, although the white is still good. It's still good for you, but if you can do the purple, I think it tastes better anyway.
Yeah.
But
seems to have more flavor. So then you mix a little bit of this stuff up, so you kind of incorporate it inside that. You know, the head was a lot bigger than I normally do. Otherwise, I would just mix it all inside and then I dump it. But this time I did it in 2 batches. So you got apple, you have onion, you have carrot. Now you got to make the mixture to sweeten it and make it good. Okay, which is, and you also, if you use seeds or you don't use seeds, sesame seeds are supposedly good for you. You don't put a whole lot inside of it, but I put some sesame seeds in. I put some pumpkin seeds in. I put some black sesame seeds in. And I put some white sesame seeds in. Okay, so we'll mix all that together too. Now I'm going to get the Vitamix out. And we'll make the stuff that needs to go in to sweeten it all up.
so Rick, we want to know if you freeze the mushrooms or keep them in the refrigerator before or after cooking.
I refrigerate them before cooking, and then after we cook them, just like that, we put them into super cubes. If you don't know what a super cube is, I'll show you.
Yeah.
A super cube is it's like a giant ice cube tray, but it's made out of silicone. So when it goes in and it gets frozen, you just pop it out like that. It's beautiful. In fact, the shepherd's pie that I'm going to make, these are oven safe, freezer safe. I can make individual servings inside of each one of these. Now they come in 1 cup, they come in 2 cup, they come in 1/8 of cups, they come in the baby size where you can freeze breast milk in. I mean, these guys got the corner covered on this, and they're fantastic. We've had these probably 3-4 years. They look brand new.
Yeah.
They do. They look brand new.
They clean up
And
easy.
we use them all the time. All
Yeah.
the time.
We started off with 2, and now we have 4, and now we're probably going to get some more.
I think I just put an order in for 2 more.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
I'm not positive at this point. Anyway,
So Mona says, I like to buy mushrooms on sale, slice them, and freeze them. So Mona, you're saying that you don't cook the mushrooms, you slice them and you freeze them
right,
before cooking. So that's
right.
interesting.
I buy them when they're on sale, already frozen and chopped. They have the shiitake, the bella, and something else mixture. So you get all 3 or 4 different varieties of mushrooms, and I'll purchase them. They come in 10 ounce. They used to be a 16 ounce. Now they're 10 ounce for the same price and maybe more. Anyway, so I buy them in 1 pound. Here we go.
Yeah, so Mona says she freezes them raw. So that's interesting.
So I buy them like this, and then I cook them, and then I freeze them.
Yeah.
For me, it's easier because I don't know.
But that's interesting that maybe we might try it, because
Yes, absolutely.
it's because we're always going out and buying mushrooms, and sometimes you can find them on sale and you want to buy a bunch, but then they may go bad. So maybe we can think about trying that out. And
I think that's a fabulous idea. Thank you.
Mona.
Thank you. Anytime I get helpful hints and helping me, that's what we're doing it for everybody else as well. Now, I need to get my Vitamix.
Yeah, so that's another appliance that we have. We started off with a Ninja blender, and we were very, very happy with it. And people
Yes.
said, oh, you have to get a Vitamix. And we said, oh, that's a big expense. We're just going to stick with the Ninja. And so this is one thing that we actually got as a gift it was a joint gift from our kids, actually. They chipped in and gave it to us.
And my father.
And your father, yeah. So.
Because it's an investment,
It
but
is.
it's a worthwhile investment if you're going to use it. If you're not going to use it, it's not worth it. But if you drink smoothies or you do any kind of soups or sherbets, ice cream, we make ice cream with this. I make soup with this. I make all sorts of sauces. It's amazing. I mean, this will be a sauce that we're going to be making today. One of the easiest things. Let me look at the ingredients.
Yeah. So once we got the Vitamix, it was just an incredible step up in the creaminess, the consistency of what's blended. It blends it into a much creamier consistency. So, but I would still, I advise anybody to get a blender if you can get the Ninja. I think that's a great one too. But it really helps. I think we probably use this Vitamix once or twice a day. So there's a lot of things. So what are you making now, Rick?
I am going to make, they're calling out for plant milk.
We don't buy plant milk.
I don't buy plant milk.
We don't buy it in a container.
And my daughter is allergic to cashews, and some people like almonds, but walnuts have the omega-3s, and hemp seeds have the omega-3s. So I make a hemp walnut mix. And
what recipe is this for?
This is going to be for the
mashed potatoes.
Some of it's going to be for the mashed potatoes. Some of it's going to be for the coleslaw.
Okay. All right.
Okay. So we're still working on the coleslaw here, but right now I'm going to make milk, and I'm going to pour half of it off. And use some of it for one and some of it for another.
And isn't this interesting?
Now you can sweeten it if you want to. In fact, I probably should sweeten it now. But
I think it's so interesting that because we can just make milk on demand, and as much as we're going to use for the recipe,
I don't mind the graininess or anything. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to toss in a chunk of date. So I have this date paste that I use, and we're going to be sweetening it anyway. So all of them are going to get sweetened. So I'm just going to put that in. So I buy this, I get it at Walmart. It's less than $3 for 13 ounces.
Yeah, it's very
I also have the Date Lady date syrup. which is organic, right?
Yeah.
And
That
and regular dates as well. But
yeah.
here we go.
Yeah, so I just think it's so nice that we can, instead of buying plant milk and not knowing what the ingredients are, because Dr. Rogers, who's been on the show, has said to me, if something has more than one ingredient, then it could potentially have MSG or MFG in it, or because they don't have to reveal all the ingredients, especially if it has a small amount, then they don't have to put that on the ingredients list. So knowing that I'm getting purely these nuts or seeds and water, filtered water, and that's all that's going to be in my plant milk, and maybe some date paste, and that's it. Of course, it's not going to last a week, but it's okay. It's for a recipe. And because we don't typically drink it like out of a glass or drink it, whenever we use plant milk, it's always for a recipe. So we don't, right, Rick? We don't take the plant milk and put it through a cheesecloth or something.
I don't.
And right, we just
It is kind of gritty, but everything that I use it for, I don't drink it like regular milk. Or if I do make it, I'll use it in oatmeal, but I don't. I just use water in my oatmeal. You can throw vanilla in this too. You can throw cinnamon inside of it and make like an eggnog. I mean, and you can make it thicker. You can make it less. It actually, right now, this stuff tastes delicious. I want to just drink it, but it's really good. So anyway, so now it calls out to put some apple inside of it. I already put the apple inside of there, but it calls out, whatever. Now, I buy it in two different ways. I buy the larger one, which is when I make my cookies, I just throw a whole jar of this inside of there, and that's what I use for sweetener. Then I buy it in the small 4-ounce one. So this is like one apple. So one apple. Easy. I try to make easy, and then it calls out for balsamic vinegar, and I just used up all my balsamic vinegar, but I have more.
Yeah, so we try to
We stock up on this stuff, so I have like a dozen of these inside there now. But then it'll get down to 4, and I'll go back and I'll buy 6 more. Okay, and it calls out for 2 tablespoons, 3 tablespoons. Anyway, the beauty of this, you can try it and taste it as you go along. So then it calls out for mustard. I love the mustard. So this has salt inside of it, 60 grams, 60 milligrams for tablespoon. I'm trying to read it upside down, but anyway, so there you go. It came out really quick, got all over my fingers.
Rick likes mustard.
I love mustard. Spicy. Anyway, and then it says raisins. I already put the dates in with the milk, so no raisins at this time, because the raisins are going in here, which I forgot to put in, which is good. I didn't put the walnuts or the raisins inside there, and you can leave them out, but the fat and the sweetness of when you take that bite, you get that little crunchy and everything. It all comes together really nicely, especially when it sits in your refrigerator for a day or two. Okay. So this is all fairly easy. It seems complicated because I'm doing so many things at one time. Sorry.
And if you notice, Rick uses ear protection because we're going to live a long, long life and we're going to be healthy. So we definitely want to protect our ears whenever we're using these loud appliances. And
Yes,
then
ma'am.
this way we'll be able to hear each other, right?
What'd you say? So this is the mixture that's inside there.
We can't really see the.
Well,
Wait.
try the other one. There you go. Can you see that? I'll show you how it comes out. Give me a second. Let me move this out of the way. We're going to be using it again, though.
You should see the kitchen, Green Warriors. All these ingredients that he had laid out. Oh my goodness.
Well, normally they're inside my cupboards and everything, so it takes a while to get them all out.
Yeah, and I'm just saying that you really you put your heart into this because you want to share your love, and one way that you share your love is through food. And so I hope Green Warriors are feeling the love.
Well, I'm Italian, so at least partially. I'm not
Food
sure.
is good love.
I haven't done one of those 23andMe things, so I'm not sure exactly what I am. And sometimes you don't want to know. Anyway, so that mixture was about 2 cups inside that Vitamix. Okay. Usually it's a little bit thicker, but it doesn't matter because this stuff, you just want to coat it all. Okay. And you can see that it's coated it. Or is in the process of coating it. Okay, so now I take some raisins, because I didn't do that before. And I add some raisins. At your discretion, how much you want, it's up to you.
Right. If you're looking to lose weight, you may not want to add in.
And I chopped up some walnuts.
Here's another appliance that we should tell them about.
This thing here is like I use it every day. This is a Ninja chopper. So this lid goes on top of it. You pulse it, and it chops it up just like a what do you call it?
Processor, yeah.
Food processor.
Except it's so easy to clean because everything just comes apart. You throw it. Well, I don't put it in the dishwasher, but you could, and you can just quickly rinse it out, or you could just put the food in there and then store it in the refrigerator until you're ready to use it. So, Rick, Mona wants to know, are just the two of you eating this?
Well, we're having a potluck tomorrow, and you can freeze this as well. You know, and it comes out pretty good. So this is freezable, just like the cranberry sauce that I made
last time.
Last time, I would have made cranberry sauce again, but I already made it last time. You should check out some of the videos. So there you go. This is it.
Yeah, I didn't think we could freeze this, and we did, and I was really surprised. I thought it was going to be a mush.
Yeah, we did it as an experiment.
Yes, we
just to see. Because someone else asked, "Can you freeze that?" I'm like, "I don't know. We usually eat it too quick to freeze it." Mm-hmm. But anyway,
that's something we can put in the super cubes too, and have these frozen blocks of coleslaw.
Yes, absolutely. Frozen blocks of coleslaw. There you go.
So,
okay, I need another container.
Okay, so while you're doing that, Lydia said, I did do the test for 23andMe, and I'm half Italian.
Hey! That's a nice. You didn't know that you were Italian before that? Is that right?
I don't know. We'll have to see if she answers us.
Anyway, so we'll turn around and we'll put that inside this glass container.
Yeah, we have these containers in different sizes, and they just come in handy because these big ones especially, I love them when Rick is batch cooking like that. And then it's just a pretty vessel to serve in. So you can just put that in the refrigerator or the freezer, and then when it's time to serve, you don't have to transfer it into another container. You can just serve it that way if you like. Ooh, look how purple that is. I love it.
And it's got the nuts, and it's got this, everything. It'll all come together. You'll really like it a lot, and in my opinion, anyway. But I guess you need to like apples and everything else too. So hopefully, this is one of your salad bowls, Amy. Oh yeah, you bought more, so it doesn't matter.
Angela's on Boomer on Wellness. She said, my last name is Fischetti. Yeah.
Hello.
What Rick was talking about was this bowl, this container that we're using now. He batch cooks or batch preps 10 salads at a time so that we have 5 days worth of salads for ourselves. And
okay, now I'm going to show you. These are the tomato things that I get. sort of. These are not actually the ones. The ones I get are normally on the vine, but I think it's the same brand. They're organic, little tomatoes. They're quite delicious. These are the ones on the vine.
Oops.
Mm.
So what are you making?
Okay. I'm going to drain the mushrooms. I need to make some room though. Give me a sec.
Okay. Well, I want to give a shout out to people that are watching on Instagram. We have gray-haired Disney Ranker or Raker is watching Instagram. So we're Instagram, YouTube, and Facebook at the same time. So if any of you, the other time that I just did a broadcast and it didn't go onto Facebook. So if you ever see it on Facebook and then you can't find it, just hop onto the YouTube and you'll find it there. Sometimes Facebook has technical issues, so that can happen. So now Rick's getting let's see what he's doing there.
I'm rinsing out my bowls because I don't have enough of them.
Yeah. Okay. So, Green Warriors, do you have a question for Rick or for me? Just let us know. We'd be happy to answer any questions that you have. Just type them in the comments, or even if you just want to talk and chat and talk about what you're doing. I wanted to know if any of you Green Warriors have a go-to whole food plant-based hack, a holiday hack that if you've been through the holidays yet, that you can share with us. I would like to know that from you guys. So if you have a holiday hack, one of our holiday hacks is not to just make it all about the food. We are going to be making this all
Crafty.
Yeah, we're doing crafts.
We do a lot of crafts, yeah.
Yeah, so every year we have some kind of a surprise. We have adult children. They're in their 30s, but we're all kids at heart. So we try to have some kind of craft to make. One time we even put this on our YouTube channel. We made hula hoops, homemade hula hoops. So that was a lot of fun. And let's see, what else have we made? Oh, I think I made a paper craft where it turned into a beautiful fan that was decorative that you could hang up. And we made, I have another video on YouTube where we made a Thanksgiving turkey out of fruit. And that was a lot. We used skewers, and we put the fruit on top of the skewers, and we made a pear was its body, and it had a beautiful fanned out feathers, and it was a lot of fun to make. And we made a video about that too.
Hello again. Okay, these are the mushrooms that have just been sitting there. You see how much they cooked down? Can you show the other one?
I will.
There we go. So they're all cooked down already.
And look at all that liquid that you didn't put any liquid in there. You didn't put any.
Here, watch how much liquid is in there. So I pour it out over a colander into a bowl. And that's my mushrooms. So, here, watch. I squash them out a little bit to try and get some of the moisture. See how much liquid you got?
That's gold.
That's probably like 16 ounces. And I make soups out of that. In fact, we're gonna put this inside the mashed potatoes with this heavy cream that I just made. See, that's my heavy cream. Most people put cream or something. So we made it with walnuts and hemp seed and a little bit of dates.
Boomer and Beyond Wellness said, "Looks fabulous, fabuloso."
Come on over for Christmas.
Fabuloso. Come on to my house.
Come on to my house. Yeah. She lives in Florida, just the other side of the coast. She's on the other side.
Yeah, she'll just have to come and visit one day. We'll have to work that out.
Okay, so let's start on the other stuff. So here I got my frying pan. And then I'll take this out of the refrigerator most of the time. And I have some in the refrigerator, actually. All right. Now, I'll add a little bit, not a whole lot. And that will be the start of the shepherd's pie.
Shepherd's pie.
So we already started the potatoes, and the delicata is done too. Ooh, look at that.
So if you're late to the party, you can start
That's really soft.
at the beginning, because Rick had put in some delicata squash in the Instant Pot, and it's
Keep talking, Amy.
and it's and it sounds like it's ready, because if you have an Instant Pot, you know that little tune that it makes when you take the lid off. And I heard that little tune, so that means the delicata squash, which it was steamed inside the Instant Pot. And if you didn't see him do that, you should come back later when we're done and watch it from the beginning, and you'll see how many delicata squash that he actually put in the Instant Pot, and they're all steaming and going to be ready to be beautiful, beautiful vessels. So
we're going to go through the same process.
Boomer and Beyond Wellness said, I would love to. So she's taking that invitation. All right.
All right. Come on over. In fact, I'll give you a place to stay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If we plan ahead, we'll give you a place to stay.
Right. Okay. Mushrooms, onions. So they got the onion pepper mixture. I put a little sauce inside there. I dumped that in. Okay. Now we'll put usually this is on the stove, like I said, and it's already started to saute. Like again, it's all going to get soft. Then I take California style, which is cauliflower, broccoli, carrots. Okay. And since I had some leftover broccoli, I'm going to add more broccoli.
Our dog loves the broccoli, and he likes all those veggies. But this is something that we stock up on, right, Rick?
What's that?
All these frozen vegetables.
I stock up on, every time I go to Whole Foods, which is out of the way for us, I go and buy about a dozen of these bags of florets. I have a big freezer, 2 freezers actually, 1 freezer and 1 refrigerated freezer. So I got about a dozen, well, not anymore, but of these bags inside there. And then I got about a half dozen of these corn, which is organic corn. I get this from Walmart. So
yeah, Walmart has a lot of organic things to choose from. So it's you just got to shop around and find what works for you.
Okay, and then I take some of these mushrooms. All right, and I put it in there too. And we'll stick it back on the stove.
So that's one of Rick's favorite frying pans, is the one that he's using now, because he loves to cook in large quantities so we can freeze it for later. And he can fit so much food inside of there. And of course, that's before it's cooked down. It'll shrink down even more. But I post on the Instagram and Facebook and YouTube. I post pictures of these one pan meals that he makes, and they're just beautiful, lots of nutrients, and they're just delicious. And I encourage you guys to think of things, because there's not really any hard and fast rules about what you can throw in that frying pan. Do you like Brussels sprouts? What's your favorite thing?
Right.
It together, and it's going to turn out delicious, and you can freeze it. And even with those super cubes, they just work so well.
Now, any vegetable, any type of vegetables that you want. If you want green beans, I was going to use this. I was going to use this stir-fried mixture that I have, which is peppers, mushrooms, onions, broccoli. I was going to mix it with it, but I didn't think there'd be enough room inside of there. But I already have peppers and onions and mushrooms, so it doesn't matter. Well, the only thing missing is the green beans. But I'm not a big fan of green beans, so I don't cook a lot with green beans. Not that I don't like them, but I don't. it's not my favorite. Anyway, so the cook gets to choose what goes in.
Right.
That's my thoughts anyway.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to put these off to the side, which is the mushroom. Oh, I'm probably going to need some of this. We're going to bring the potatoes over here so you can see what I did with that.
And so a lot of this food goes in the freezer. One of our daughters likes to come and visit us once in a while, and she brings an insulated bag, and she'll take some of this food home with her. And so it's really fun to see that she can enjoy it also because she eats the way we do.
Okay, so these are the potatoes, and they are soft.
Wow.
So that was 6 minutes. Of course, they were sitting there with a natural pressure release, but that's what they are, and it's got quite a bit of water inside there. Probably shouldn't have used that much water. Anyway, so
but the water is basically on the bottom because you have that.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so now you need to flavor them a little bit. So I'll take a little onion powder. Wow, I bought a bunch of it, a big bag of it. This is very different than what I'm used to. So I'll take some onion powder. I'll take some table tasty. Okay, I like garlic. So we'll put a little garlic in there. Amy likes a little heat. So chili 9000. This is my go-to with almost everything, to be quite honest with you, except for this one. Now I add nutritional yeast, which gives it a little bit of a cheesy flavor.
Oh, we're gonna have a true or false game about nutritional yeast coming up. So
okay, so
put on your thinking caps.
That's probably about it at this time. We'll see how it goes as far as the consistency. So then I mix that all together. Oh yeah, I forgot. I was going to use some miso too, because they told me I need fermented food in my diet to help with my microbiome. So this much miso.
Yeah, and miso does have sodium, so we're not really using a lot of it anyway. There's some debate on whether that sodium counts or not, but we count it. And
I count. But we don't count really sodium because we don't really use much of it.
Right.
So our food doesn't taste salty, but it's like flavorful. And they're like, people say if we didn't know you and the food that we eat, we would think that there was salt inside of it.
Right.
Because that's because my food usually my food tastes pretty good. I used to throw in the beginning. Whoever that was that asked in the beginning, were we SOS-free, and how did we do it? Cold turkey. I guess you shouldn't use that word, cold turkey. Anyway,
tofu.
The answer is it took a while. I forgot what I was saying.
As far as if we went cold turkey, not having, we're being SOS free. So it took a while, but we don't really have much added sodium. There's some in the miso, there's some in the mustard, but basically that's about what we do. I want to give a shout out.
Oh, in the beginning, I used to throw away a lot of food. Is what I was getting at.
Yeah.
Because I didn't know the spices that I enjoyed because someone else made the recipes, and those were the spices or whatever that they enjoyed. So when I adapted them and I found the spices that I like, which is the chili 9000, the table tasty, the sumac, Italian seasonings. And then, of course, we go to and we do the Indian stuff, and we do the curry and that. Anyway, so this is a potato crust masher, but I use it. It's a pie crust, pie blend. I use it as my potato masher. And as you noticed, I left the skin on my potatoes, but those were those golden ones. The skin is really, really thin. Anyway, I don't mind them being chunky. So this is the mashed potatoes. I haven't added the heavy cream, so I have to add a dab of heavy cream in that.
The non-dairy heavy cream. Hey Rick, Boom and Beyond Wellness, gotta love Rick's aprons.
that was a gift from Amy.
Yeah, he had on a different apron the last time, and so I said, "Oh, we got to get you a holiday kind of apron." So
Anyway, so you can eat these just the way they are, and they would be delicious. You know, in fact, I should probably taste it, but I already know they're good. Okay, so that'll be the base or the topping. A lot of times I like mushrooms, so I will throw the mushrooms in with that. So instead of it just being mashed potatoes, you got mushroom mashed potatoes. So you got these little chunks inside there. So for the people who like meat, they have some kind of texture that they can just bite into. Okay,
well, that was good.
Yeah, that's dinner.
It's dinner.
That's dinner.
Yep, I'm excited about that.
Okay, let me go back to.
So, Green Warriors, what's your go-to holiday hack? Do you have any tips that you do as far as whether it's food that you make or whether it's how you stay compliant or what you do when you have guests coming over or what you do when you're a guest? Drop that in the comments and let me know.
This has been boiling. I had it on high. Okay, so everything is now steamed up and cooked up, and I'm not going to add any more flavor to it because the mushroom mixture had enough flavor for it all. Okay, so this here will be the shepherd's pie innards, and that's it as far as that goes. Except I am going to take sweet potato, which I have already cooked, but I don't know where it's at.
So Mona likes to have lentil loaf.
Yes.
For holiday dinner.
I just made lentil loaf the other day, but it's hamburgers. I make hamburgers and lentil loaves. But go ahead. What did she say?
Well, I was just asking them, our Green Warriors, to tell us what they do for the holidays and if they have any certain dishes that they like to make, either for their guests or to bring with them when they go someplace else. So that's why I posted that comment.
Awesome. Well, you can break up the lentil loaf and add it as a meat inside of there, which I think I might do that because I have some hamburgers that we make. Anyway, these are the sweet potatoes that I make inside the Instapot. And watch this. You see how pliable they are? It's like pudding on the inside. So I don't use the skin. I just cut them in half and then I peel the skin off. It comes off just like that. Okay. Now, when they're a little harder, you have to peel them a little bit more. But when they're like this, that skin, it just falls off. I used to take the skin and make it into chips. I'd air fry them. I take some table tasty and sprinkle it on the top of it, and then put the chips. But I don't know. Ever since they talked about that appeal, I don't know what they put it on and what they don't put it on. So I try to take the skins off, even though everybody says the nutrition's in the skins. But if they adulterate the skins,
that if it is, we don't know, and they don't have to reveal it to us, and it won't wash off. You can't taste it. You can't smell it. You can't see it.
So if you guys don't know about it, look it up.
Hopefully.
I mean, I don't know if it's bad or not. Of course, the Food and Drug Administration, they deem everything okay until somebody says it's not.
It's generally recognized as safe until they prove otherwise, at least in our country anyway. So, but look at how they easily come off, and you can see how moist they are. And they just cook to perfection in the Instant Pot. There's so many different ways
Yeah, this is the way I like them. And I make ice cream out of these now, too.
Yeah.
That and bananas, of course. But
Yeah.
okay, so here we go. So I needed a pot, and I have one. So we'll take these and throw them in the pot. Okay. Now, another thing I wanted to show you was the delicata squash that we had. So the delicatas are in here. I think I cooked them just a little bit too long.
So that's the instant pot vessel that you.
So don't put them in for 6 minutes if you want them firm. But for my purposes, it's gonna work out great. But you'll see that they just want to fall apart. See, watch that. And again, you can eat the skins of these, and I always used to, but I don't anymore.
But look
Because
at
Dr. Rogers told me not to.
But anyway, I love how many you put in there, and that you just stack them all on top of each other, and it just worked out fine.
So the innards of these will come off. It'll just peel right off, just like that. So you take that skin, and you either eat it or you don't. But regrettably, I'm not.
But it's very moist, and it's just another type of flavor that you're adding in with. So you're getting complexities in there. It's not just the sweet potato; it's the delicata, which is it's just a delicious food. And if you're looking for a starch, instead of just always sweet potatoes, when these guys are in season, it's really you walk by them in the store, and if you didn't know how to cook them, you would think, oh, look how decorative that is for fall. and you wouldn't know that you could just put these things
in. All those things are food.
Yeah, they're
not just decorations.
Yeah.
Right?
Right.
They're all food. I didn't think they were food for many, many years. I was like, who would eat something like that? That's crazy.
How would you eat it? What would you do with it?
Right.
So, King Warriors, have you ever eaten delicata squash or prepared it? Let us know in the comments. And if you did, what do you think about it? Did you like it? And what did you eat it with? And are you getting motivated that maybe you want to try this? Because it's going to be really, really good. I'm so excited. We're having a plant-based potluck. Rick and I are building healthy communities pod leaders, and that is with Physicians Committee for Responsible Medicine. They have a map that you can check out to see if there's a group of building healthy communities group in your location that you could join. And they sometimes do potlucks, they have presentations, guest cooking shows, and all kinds of things. And if there isn't one in your area, you could become a group leader like Rick and I do. And we've been doing that for quite a while, and you get
they used to be underneath a different umbrella, right, Amy?
It used to be through Plant Pure Communities. If anybody's watched the movie Plant Pure Nation, that's with Nelson Campbell put that out. And they started up this Plant Pure Communities Pods network. We became leaders of that, but then the Physicians Committee for Responsible Medicine took that over, and we're really excited about all the potential that we're going to have with a new family.
Well, I was going to stuff these, but because they come out so soft, they're becoming part of the stuff.
Part of the recipe, and this is the beautiful thing, because these recipes are so versatile that it's not a hard and fast rule that you have to have this and you can't put that in. And so Rick made a decision because he thinks that he wanted to use a couple of them as a vessel to stuff.
Well, I wanted to show you that you can do it in a different way, and you can.
Yeah.
You can cook this stuff all by itself, and then if you watched our other show, the last one, we actually made stuffed squash and made the boats that was for Thanksgiving.
Yeah, and they're beautiful. They're just so beautiful.
And again, this skin is delicious.
Yeah.
And nutritious.
So let's see what you've got. You got a big bowl there.
Yeah. So I have the sweet potato and I have the delicata at this
You just
particular.
hold it up to the camera when you get a moment, so we can.
Yeah. I'm gonna wash my hands and just board off a little bit.
Yeah, there's a lot of things going on in this kitchen. I tell you guys.
Okay, so I mean I could add more sweet potato to this, or not. I probably will.
And what's
So,
nice is, yeah,
you see that?
yeah, it's beautiful. And if it winds up to be too much for the layers that you're gonna make, then you can just hold some of that off on the side and use it as a side dish, or stuff it
I'm
into
gonna show you something. It's gonna be fine. I'm not gonna. It's gonna. Everything's gonna be good. Okay, we're gonna go back to.
That's what Rick always says. Don't worry, it's gonna be fine. And
Don't worry, it's gonna be fine.
and he's always right.
Okay, remember this thing?
Let's see.
This is that little mini chopper.
Yeah.
Okay. Now these are oats. Just quick oats, not quick oats, old-fashioned oats. Now I'm gonna put about a cup of oats in there. So you got oats inside there. Now you plug this in.
And I just put it on mute so this way it wouldn't hurt your ears. But you see how it's just a push button there. So you can control how much it grinds up. And that was
Okay,
so
now you have oat flour.
wow. And there again, we didn't have to go out and get any. We just made
So
it.
we're gonna make this kind of into the crust. So this will make it a little firmer or make it gooey. I'm not really sure. So we're not gonna add a whole lot, but I think it'll be nice. You know, that'll.
And I guess I really want to encourage you, Green Warriors, don't be afraid to try things in the kitchen. There's always a way to make something taste good, and if you didn't turn out a certain way, then you can always add another ingredient to it or use it something else.
Okay, check this out. I'm gonna put some mushrooms inside of this too, just like I did with the other one. Because mushrooms, what do mushrooms do?
The ingredient, there's many nutrients and phytochemicals in mushrooms, but they have
Aromatase inhibitors.
yes, and that is what they use.
That's key.
Yeah, that's what they use to make cancer medications. So why not have a healthier version of something that fights cancer in your body?
Eat your mushrooms, people.
So we eat mushrooms every day, and
Okay.
they're delicious.
I'm gonna add a little garlic to this one as well. Not a whole lot. I don't want to overpower everything. You know something? Let's put a little squirt of mustard in there. Okay. Now we're cooking with grease. No, we're not.
Cooking with nutrients.
Yes, we are.
All these different colors that we're using. So the beta carotene in the carrots and in the sweet potatoes, these are going to help with a lot of things. One of the things it does is it helps protect your skin from the sun.
Okay, I'm going to taste this and see what I think, and I'll let you know. Not bad. You know, I mean, it needs something else, but I think put it all collectively together, it'll give me what I want.
Because it's just going to be one of the many layers that you're going to have, and that's what I love about this lifestyle is because while you're cooking, you can taste things and you don't have to worry about cross contamination. So that's a big deal.
Okay, this is my lasagna pan. It's about 3 inches on the side, you know, and then I put a sill mat instead of parchment paper. Parchment paper will just turn around and melt.
Are you also using the super cubes, Rick?
Right now, I'm going to do this. I can do the super cubes as well. I'm going to try and figure it out right now.
Okay.
This is my first time making it. I'm kind of making it up as I go along. So bear with me. What?
The those.
Amy will put together a recipe for y'all.
Oh yeah,
She will.
I will try.
Okay, so this will be the first layer. So we want about, I'm going to say about a ½ inch of potato on the bottom. This is my thoughts anyway. You know, normally a shepherd's pie would have a crust, and we could have made this a crust. But it would have took a lot longer, and I think that this will bake up nicely. So we take that, put it off to the side.
So Mona said, how on earth does Rick keep that pan so clean and shiny?
Amy, I have Amy. I do the cooking. We have a deal. I do the cooking. She does the cleaning.
And a lot of the prep.
Yeah, quite a bit of the prep.
A lot of the
Like I said, she'll put out those salad ingredients and she'll walk around them all day long. So yes, part of the prep.
But in all fairness, I washed them all, right?
Yes, you do.
I washed all that produce.
Okay, now this has a lot of water in it still. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to drain some of this out, even though it's going to be flavorful. But I'm going to drain it into my mushroom mixture, which I'm going to make a soup out of because I hardly waste anything. So we'll just, I'm going to add, I might as well just add the rest of these mushrooms with it. Why not, right? Okay, so it goes through the colander. I'm going to go back inside of here. Okay, that's going to drain a lot of the liquid out because I don't want this thing too liquidy. You needed the liquid to make sure that things didn't get steamed. You needed to steam them, in essence. It kind of, it's not, you don't want it boiling. Now you can tighten this up with cornstarch, agar, ground flax, shea, whatever. I'm going to use, you see, so now I got a whole bunch more mixture. And that's going to make a beautiful soup. Because you don't want to waste those nutrients. All the nutrients that come out of these, you know. So I'm just going to use this bowl, which has the potato in it now. And the potato is going to toughen it up. See? And we'll mix them in. So you got potato inside the mixture.
You can hear our little dog Zeus.
He's watching the neighborhood, making sure everything is just fine. Okay, so that's some of the innards.
Well, that looks really good so far. And you should when you come back, you should show us what's in there so far, so we can take a look.
There you go. So far, that's what's in there. All of the stuff. Now, I'm going to add some potatoes to that as well. So it's like a 50-50 mix because this is going to be the topping.
You should call him in and give him a cucumber.
Say again?
I said
Call him in and offer him a cucumber?
Yes, so he won't bark so much.
Come here, dude. Anyway, so now, look how thick. Never mind.
Well, he stopped barking, so that's all good.
So you see this, it's thickened up quite a bit now.
Yeah. You know, they say that you should have like 10, 15 different vegetables a day. We're going to eat our share today. Absolutely.
Now, we can taste this too and see what we think. And then at this point, this is the beauty of cooking like this. You can see, is this the way I want it? Do I need to add more seasonings one way or the other? Let's see. Because if this doesn't taste good, I don't think it's going to taste good. It won't. It won't taste good. But it does taste good.
Surprise.
Yeah. I'm going to add a little nutritional yeast to it.
Okay. You know,
This is the true or false time, Amy.
yes, this is a true or false time, everybody. While he adds that nutritional yeast.
It's time for True or False on Be Green with Amy Live. Answer true or false to Amy's questions in the comments below, and Amy will ask our guest for the expert answer.
Okay.
I'm going to add some yeast too.
While he's mixing in that nutritional yeast, I have a question for you. True or false, all nutritional yeast is fortified with folic acid. And I had to fix that because I guess I thought I had it with folic acid. So, and then we're going to talk about folic acid too, but all nutritional yeast is fortified with folic acid. What do you think, Green Warriors? True or false? Type in your guess. And we're getting a lot of smart answers. We're getting a lot of smart answers. We've got some really good Green Warriors out there. That's right. And we're going to talk about the folic acid because what did you just put something else in there, Rick? I'm sorry.
I just put some table tasty in as well.
Okay.
That'll give you that salty flavor that you're looking for.
Yeah.
I was thinking about adding sumac, but I held off on that. I'm going to taste it again and see what happens.
Yeah. So this folic acid, a lot of nutritional yeast is fortified with that. And it's not really a good ingredient. So if you see that on the ingredients list, you really should try a different brand that doesn't have the folic acid, because folic acid is actually what they're trying to do is they're trying to add what a lot of people are not getting enough of, which is folate. So folic acid is a synthetic form of folate, and folate is in our vegetables, especially in our green vegetables. And when we eat in this way, we're getting plenty of folate. We don't need folic acid, which is in studies have shown that it can be deleterious to our health. So try not to do that if you can. And then, did you want to say anything else before our next question, Rick?
About
I don't know. I just want to make sure. Okay.
Nutritional yeast makes your food taste cheesier.
Yeah, it does.
And all brands are not created equal. I've had brands that I don't care for. Amy found one that doesn't have the folic acid inside of it, and it's kind of expensive. But I don't use too much of it, and it's in times like this, or if you're making cheese sauces, you need it.
Yeah,
anyway.
And that was going to be one of my questions, because a lot of times people think that when they try nutritional yeast that maybe they didn't like it, and they say, okay, I don't like nutritional yeast. I tried it. I don't like the taste of it.
Right.
But it may be that you just need to try a different brand, because some of the brands we tried a different brand from the one that we're using, and we didn't care for it. And we said, oh, can you imagine if that was the first time we had nutritional yeast, we probably would never use it again. So that's really important.
Okay, I think you're gonna like that. I do. I know
think
my guest
I like
will.
it.
So you got the sweet potato mushroom mixture with the,
the delicata squash.
delicata.
Ooh, this is like a hearty, yummy meal. Oh my goodness.
This is the center. We might as well dump it all, because that's what it's going to be, a great big old pie. Shove it into the corners.
So Marty said it's interesting about the nutritional yeast so far. We've liked the ones we've tried. That's great. That's wonderful. Then you can buy the one that's on sale.
Well, you try to keep the folic acid down if you can.
Yeah. So
because Furman says that stuff's not good.
Yeah,
if you have too much of it, especially because they put it inside the vitamins, they put it everywhere.
Yes.
So you don't really want too much of the fortified
you want to stay away from. And Roxy said I usually get the non-fortified, and Marley said the same thing, non-fortified. See, our green warriors are up on things. They know they're learning a lot about nutrition, and that's so important. And we just
Hey,
like to share that information when we can.
so now you got a sandwich between two different types of potatoes and stuff. Here's the potato. Just plop it on here and there. Even though you already have it on the inside, this creates the topping.
That looks so good.
So this is like, normally for Christmas or holidays and things like that, I made lasagna or baked ziti. And I still do, but I make it in a totally different way than I used to. And it's delicious. But this one here is a whole lot more nutritious. So let's taste this. I like that.
Can you imagine? This is just going to be so good, and there's so much food there, and it's just going to be so nutrient dense, but it's going to be filling and satisfying. And one of the best parts of this lifestyle, in my opinion, is that I can eat all I want until I'm comfortably full, and I don't have to worry about gaining weight. I am at the perfect weight for my body now, and it's been that way since we adopted this lifestyle. It didn't take long, so I'm really.
You've always been perfect.
Aw.
Ever since I met you.
Aw, you're so sweet.
See, when she was heavier, I was heavier.
Yeah, that's true. We were getting heavier together, and
Well, that's the way it is. We eat the same stuff, so
yeah,
we're not.
but we didn't know any better. But I was not. I mean, I was trying to make healthy food.
You were.
Yeah.
You were telling us, have the chicken, no skin.
Yeah.
Eat the salmon. Blah blah blah. We were doing well. We weren't doing it all right, but we were doing low fat Triscuits, but we were still eating cheese. But they said cheese is good for you because you need your calcium.
Right.
Blah blah blah.
We thought that, and now we're not.
Okay. I'm gonna put this big beautiful thing off to the side.
Ooh.
I'm gonna show you a way to put something on the top of it.
It's gonna be so good.
Okay, so what I did is I bought some scallions. Okay, and this is one of the really cool things about scallions is they come with the roots on the bottom. We live in Florida, but even if you don't, I take these and I cut it off at the white, so I still have all of that onion stuff. Okay, and I'm going to show you what I do with it. I take it and I put it inside of a little jar with some water, and they're this size, right? And they grow up, and then you get another batch of scallions. And then after the first batch, like this one, and because they're inside of water, I change the water every other day. And all I do is dump it out, swish it around, and dump it out again, and then fill it up just a quarter of an inch inside there so that the root goes inside of it. Then I put it in my garden, and I have scallions that recreate while they're in the dirt because the roots have grown up. You can plant them just like this, but I put them on my counter, and it's like a little flowering plant. It doesn't flower, but so anyway. And then I take that and I cut off the tops because even though they look good, whatever. Then I rinse them off.
Wow, we're getting lots of good food here, I tell you.
Okay. We look through and make sure there aren't any rotten ones. See, like this one, it's going south. It's still good, but it's going south. And then I just cut the little things like this. Okay, now watch this. I take this and I sprinkle these on top. See that?
Oh, it's so colorful. And it's going
Well,
to
it
be.
just adds another dimension to it. You can do that before or after you cook them. I pat them in with clean hands. And you can smell them, the aroma of them. And that's it. Okay, for those of you people who are still with us, then I take this and I throw it in the oven. Cook it at 350. Really, all you need to do is warm it up. But I'll put it in the refrigerator now, and then tomorrow, prior to the potluck, because everything's cooked, you can just eat it the way that it is. It's just a matter of layering it. And I still have leftover potato. Not a whole lot, but a little bit. I didn't do the bottom, and I didn't save any, but you do the same thing in the super cubes. I forgot, Amy. I'm sorry. So you put a layer of the potato, then you put the layer of the vegetable mixture, then you put a layer of potato on top of it. And you just use a spoon like this, and you just, and then you put your lid on it. Did I show you the lid? And you take the lid, put it on it, stick it in the refrigerator or the freezer, or you can just put it in the oven like this and cook it in individual portions. Now, when you go to dump it out, one you might wind up dumping a bunch of them at the same time. So I would freeze it, and then you could take it out and throw it in the microwave. Makes it easy. Okay, what are we up to? Okay, now we are going to make, check this out. I'm going to take chickpeas, cauliflower. You guys want to keep going, right?
Well,
5 o'clock already. It's been almost 2 hours, Amy.
I know.
Oh, do you still have people online watching me?
You still have people watching because
You guys are cuckoo.
No,
you guys are cuckoo.
They aren't. They are green warriors, and they will stay until it's done.
We need to. I can't. I'm not gonna be able to make the sushi and everything. So right now we're going to make buffalo wings, and we're gonna make tuna fish. Okay. So let's go. Let's go with that. And for that, I need the Vitamix. But I had taken and made the cauliflower kind of bite size, like you would see chicken wings. So you can take them and just eat them. And then chickpeas, you mash them. And you mash them just like you did the.
Molly said, "We're green warriors. We are green warriors." I'll stay until I can. Got company heading over. Lydia's still here. All right.
You guys are cuckoo. Okay. Where am I at? So, again, going back to a lot of my basics, I take walnuts. Okay. That's because I don't use cashews. A lot of people use cashews, and cashews, it makes it come out creamy. It's quite nice. And then I have minced onions. It doesn't matter. Powdered onions, minced onions, all the same thing. All right. Garlic. Little bit of table tasty. little miso. Miso is, you wouldn't realize it, but it goes a long ways. It takes a while to get used to cooking with miso, in my opinion. And then sumac. Okay. Little date syrup. And back to the mustard, which for some reason the lid is broken. Amy's got this really great hack. You take the jar, put it inside of a bag, spin it around, and all of the mixture that's inside of whatever bottle you have goes to the bottom. I, on the other hand, pound it on my counter and try to do the same thing. But hers works better, and it's kind of fun. But I had shoulder surgery a long time ago. It kind of hurts me. I don't like that, but it does. So, at this point, now you need some vinegar. I usually use apple cider, so I will use the apple cider, but I had the balsamic here. Here it is. Apple cider vinegar, so about a quarter cup of that. And again, we'll taste this and see what we think. Now we add water. I was thinking I almost use that milk. Put a lid on it. Where's my earmuffs? There they are. I forgot the hemp seed. We're going to add some hemp seed. About a quarter cup of hemp seed. Makes it thicker and more nutritious. Here we go.
Yep, so he's going to blend up. This is the sauce that's going to be for the cauliflower bites. This is always a big hit, especially people that are not vegan or plant-based. They also love this so much too. So it's a really good recipe to share, and you can batch cook this as well. So let's see, is he done? Yeah, you're done now.
It's okay. I don't know if I put the chili 9000 in or not. I don't think I did, because I think it's missing a little heat.
So we're going to mute that so it doesn't blast you guys. Okay.
That's much better. Hey, Amy, I got a clock thing. All right. So you see that recipe right there? That'll be the buffalo wings, because you want it a little spicy. All right, I'm going to move this out of the way because I can. Now you take these wings and you take this mixture and you just see how it comes out. It's kind of thick, but you're not that thick. Usually it's like cement, but I don't. I have to water it down when I use the cement. Anyway, so you just want to coat the outsides of these wings.
Hey, Rick, I'm going to take our puppy out for a sec. You think you can manage without me?
Absolutely, love.
Okay.
Why don't you put it on double screen?
Yeah.
For me. There you go. Hi, everybody. Okay, so see how they're getting coated? And the beauty of these things, you could just take them and eat them like this and taste it and see what it's like. And that's pretty good. So this is a mixture that I made up. It's hemp seed, garlic, table tasty, chili 9000, a little bit of oregano or Italian seasoning, and nutritional yeast. So pretty much the same ingredients, except I make it into a, well, I call it a Parmesan cheese because it has more nutritional yeast in it than not. And I coat these kind of like breadcrumbs in a way, but it gives it another zing right on the outside of these wings. So now you can eat these raw, which I like, or you can cook them, which is I take them, I put them in a glass container. Right? Look at that. That has a nice flavor. So I put them in a glass container. Which for some reason I'm running out of. Here they are. I put them out to begin with. Can you see that? I just pour them in. 5 minutes in the microwave will soften them up so that they're still al dente. You know? So you still have a crunch. If you don't want them as crunchy, you put them in for another minute or two, usually 2 minutes, and that softens them up. But these things refrigerate very nicely. Anyway, so this is my buffalo cauliflower wings, which I must say are quite good. I eat them all the time, and it's so quick to make and easy. Okay. All right, the next thing you need, I'm going to use the same container. Take chickpeas. Okay, these are 3 cups of chickpeas because we measure them out and put them inside of Ziploc bags and freeze them. So I took 3 bags out because that's what I guesstimated we would need. And then we take that potato masher that we had, we just crush the chickpeas down. I don't mash them so that they're completely mashed. I still leave them a little chunky. You know the way tuna fish would be? It's still kind of flaky, because that's kind of what you're trying to emulate, is tuna fish. So I don't know how you guys make your tuna fish. The way I grew up, my mama, God bless her soul, she this Parmesan cheese goes a long way. Anyway, she used to make it with tomatoes, which I have here. I'm going to cut them up, and celery, which I did not wash yet, which I need to. So, if you guys bear with me just a moment, I will cut up the celery and the tomatoes, and we'll be on our way. So far today, what have we made? we have made the shepherd's pie. We have made coleslaw. What else did we make?
Mashed potatoes.
Hey, you're back.
I'm back. We made mashed potatoes. We made the delicata squash.
Yes, but I overcooked that.
Yeah, but it's still good.
Oh, it's delicious. Yes.
I wanted to let everybody know that I'm going to be putting a link in the show notes for how to find out if there's a plant-based group near you. And there'll be a map that you can go to and find out if that's available to you. So I'm going to be putting that in the show notes so that when we're done with the show, I'll put it there and you guys can go and look and see how you can find it. I also have it on my blog. I'll try to put it on Facebook too, but I'll definitely put it in the YouTube show notes.
Okay, now I cost chop these because I pulse it inside this container that I have this oats in. I'll put the oats somewhere else. So I will take this. You know, I think I'll put scallions in it as well. Don't forget to put the S blade in. You wouldn't believe how many times I forgot to put the S blade in.
Yep.
Same thing with the food processor.
That's like a rookie mistake.
Well,
right?
it's not rookie either. I mean, you just
yeah. Sometimes you're
but
right.
it is definitely a rookie mistake.
Yeah.
And you feel like, oh God, what? And then you got to take all your stuff
Get
back out,
everything all out.
do it all over again. So pay attention. So this thing fits inside there. It won't turn on unless it's seated properly inside this lid. I still like it a little chunky, and I could have cut it up.
Such a handy machine, and it just comes apart, and you can just throw the whole thing in the sink. Sometimes you get that food processor, and you're like, "Oh, I don't want to take this food processor out just to do this little stuff." And that's so nice about this Ninja. Is
so check this out. Look how it is. See that?
Nice.
It's nice little chunks, and you don't have to chew, and they kind of melt away, but you still get a little chewiness.
Yeah.
When you're doing it, instead of a great big chunk of celery, and the celery gives it a nice salty flavor, and
celery has naturally occurring sodium in it.
It's good for you.
But it's a healthy dose. It's not too much.
Okay, so then I take the tomatoes, and as you can see, I just quarter them. I have more tomatoes. If you want more tomatoes, you put more tomatoes in.
So I think that I put the wrong thing on. Are you making the tuna now?
Yes, I am.
Okay, because I had something else up there and then I left.
What'd you have?
At the broccoli, the cauliflower bites.
I was making that.
Yeah, but now you're not.
Now I'm not. That's correct. Anyway, so here we go. I'm going to clean up this board. Which battery? A battery is low, Amy.
Uh-oh.
I'm going to have to plug the phone in real quick.
Hopefully it's yours. And
I think it's yours because it only gives you a few hours.
Yeah, that's true. We've been on longer than we expected to be, but that's okay. Rick noticed that. We have an iPhone, and with the iPhone, you can program it to when your battery gets down to whatever percentage that you want it. It'll say battery is low. So I have it at like 20%. If I only have 20% battery left, it'll announce that. So this way, I'm aware and I can plug it in. So it's
now we made the buffalo wings, but like I said, you put them in the microwave or you can bake them in the oven. It turns out basically the same. And the original mixture that we have is still inside of here. So I only used half of what we had. The difference that I'm going to do with this is to give it a fishy taste in a way. I use a little bit of this granule kelp. So I put some of that inside of there, maybe a half teaspoon. It just changes the flavor profile, not a whole lot, but a little bit. You know? Heck, I could have just poured it inside of here. I should have just poured it inside of here. You don't need to mix it all up. I don't need to put it back inside this thing. So you just take the kelp. I'll use a little bit more. Watch this. And you go like that. See?
Does anybody have
Let's see how that mixes up.
a spatula that you like for the Vitamix? We have been on the hunt for that perfect spatula, and everyone that we try, they're good, but they're not. They just don't make it around the blades. We
Well,
tried
I have it.
brand. We've tried a bunch of them.
You're getting all dingy, Amy.
Oh.
I think it's because I unplugged this microphone thing. That's weird. You still talking?
Yes, I'm talking now. Can you hear me okay?
Okay. I do now.
Okay.
So anyway, so here's that mixture mixing up. So it's got tomatoes, celery, kelp granules, and that original mixture that we made for the buffalo wings. Okay, and look how it's mixing up, just like tuna fish would. So this is my no tuno.
This is another dish that a lot of people who aren't plant-based, they enjoy. They don't realize.
You can put this on you put that on a slice of bread. I use it as a dip. I take chips or celery or something like that, and then people just use it as a dip. But I throw it in my salads as well. It's quite delicious.
Great topping over a salad.
And on top of it, most people think it's tuna fish.
Yes. Well, what do you think, Rick?
It needs a little more of a salty flavor.
The sumac?
But it tastes good.
Does it need the sumac? No.
No, it doesn't need to sumac. It needs to settle and marinate a little bit.
One of these dishes,
I'm going to use
a lot of the dishes, if you just let them marinate for a little while, they taste a lot better. Even a few hours later or the next day, they taste really good. So that's something. He's looking around. You can see the kitchen, how many spices he has out, because he's making so many different recipes. So he's looking. Ordinarily, he could just go right to the cabinet and find what he would want. But now
I put it away. I'm looking for my Parmesan cheese.
Oh yeah, that's
it's
right.
Hiding.
Let's go to the videotape.
Oh, there it is. Second, they all look the same to me. So I'm gonna add a little bit more of this stuff inside of them.
That's your mixture that you make up.
What's that?
That was your spice mixture that you made up. Okay.
Didn't hear a word you said, Ames.
You didn't? Can you hear me now?
Anyway, we're done. I do.
Okay.
And that's it. Anyway, I will put this in a bowl and call it a night. 2 hours and change. But people will love this tomorrow. How beautiful you look.
Aw, these are technical things that we have to worry about. If I take off that other screen, you won't be able to hear us. But you can see the beautiful food.
We don't cook enough in the kitchen. I need to set up some kind of a camera system.
Yeah.
Right now, we're working on cell phones and laptops, and we get all sorts of feedback and whoa.
But we're trying.
Yeah.
You know, but we're trying it on a budget. So. But anyway, it's been so nice that you all joined us today and typed in all these comments, because engaging with you guys, it means so much to us. And we really wanted to thank you all for being a part of our food prep that we're going to have for our potluck tomorrow. We're going to have similar things going on for the holidays. I hope you guys are going to have a fantastic holiday as well. If you would like to type in the comments my tagline, which is be strong, be well, be green, I'm going to say it with Rick, and you can type that in. And before we say it, I wanted to tell everybody, go ahead and take your left hand and grab your right shoulder and take your
and grab your right shoulder and squeeze. And this is a hug from us to you.
Oh,
right?
Man, you're going to make me cry, because that's a hug from us to
Be
you.
strong.
Wait. So until I have to also tell them that we have somebody coming up. I wanted to thank the Green Warriors for joining us. I wanted to thank you, Rick, for all that you're doing. And I wanted to thank Just Has Voice, because she did the promos and she did the countdown. And I'm going to go in and say Just Has Voice is coming up.
Okay, Just Has Voice. Tell us who's coming up next.
To transform your health with delicious, culturally inspired, whole food plant-based recipes? Join Shada and Gustavo as they share their inspiring weight loss journeys and show you how to make flavorful plant-based dishes on Wednesday, January 15th, 3 p.m. Eastern, noon Pacific, on Be Green with Amy Live.
Okay, now you can type in the comments.
And I'm trying to show you half the stuff.
And Rick's going to try to show you all the things that he made. So, you've got
that cucumber salad.
Ooh.
All right,
Yum.
it's marinating in its own juices. What else you got? That's good.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, one more thing. The coleslaw.
Yep, the coleslaw too.
So this is what we just made today. If you stuck around long enough to see it all.
Very
Go
nice.
ahead.
Well, until I see all of you again, remember, be strong.
Oh yeah. Be strong.
Be strong. Be well.
Be well.
And be green. Thank you so much for sticking with us, Green Warriors. Happy holidays. Let us know in the comments what you're going to make or what you like to make. And we always appreciate all of your engagement. We'll see you soon. Bye.
Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, Happy Hanukkah, Happy Kwanzaa. There's a couple more, I'm sure.
Looking for really tasty recipes that are SOS-free? No sugar, oil, or salt. How can it taste good? Well, if you like flavor, then you'll love this Be Green with Amy recipe ebook. Get your copy today. Click on the link in the show notes. Be strong, be well, and be green.